My sword is at the Emperor's command. I answer to no man, living or dead.
Tushan serves as the chapter master of the Salamanders during the era Indomitus. Originally a sergeant of the 5th Company, with continued service to his creed, Tushan swiftly rose to the rank of captain of the 3rd Company, leading the Pyroclasts in their purge of the Tau sympathizers on the world of Imafok. With continued successful campaigns, the promising scion of Vulcan would stand ready to inherit the position of Regent of Prometheus. His predecessor slain by the Blood Reaver, Huron Blackheart, Tushan would be appointed as Lord of the 18th during 939.M41 and be known as a well-respected, if relatively unproven master of the Adeptus Astartes. Imbued with abnormal strength even for a space marine, Tushan, now clad in the Firedrake mantle made from the near-indestructible hide of the Firedrakes of Nocturne, is an imposing and immovable figure. Wielding the legendary power weapon, Deathfire, first carried into battle by his Primarch Vulcan, the ancient flame weapon Prometheus, and the immense thunderhammer known as Stormbearer, Tushan carries these artifacts of his chapter with pride. His face marked with numerous branding scars, honoring the Promethean creed, the snarling images of salamanders adorning his pauldrons herald his position as the Lord of Drakes. Leading his chapter during the Second War for Armageddon, only 3 years following his promotion, many within the hierarchy of the Imperial military doubted his capabilities by virtue of his short tenure. Facing the hordes of the Orc warlord, Ghazghul Mag Uruk Fraka, alongside the Lord of the Blood Angels, Commander Dante, Tushan's capable leadership and humble acceptance of his senior's experience and insight proved invaluable. Protecting Imperial convoys and refugee columns, the Salamanders under Tushan's command relished the chance to uphold such a duty which other chapters would often neglect. Adored by the civilian populace for their compassionate deeds, the 18th's defense of the helpless of Armageddon epitomized the greatest virtues of the Astartes. Rallying the demoralized planetary defense forces and Astra Militarum regiments of the Hive cities, Tushan and his elite Firedrake 1st Company fought valiantly to preserve as many lives as possible. Staving off a speed freak maneuver of 1,000 greenskins for over 3 days, the Lord of Drakes would receive immense praise from Commander Dante in the presence of his assembled Blood Angels veterans. To be honored in such a way by the longest-serving chapter master of the Adeptus Astartes swelled Tushan with pride, for in his mind there was no greater honor than the respect of his cousin chapters. Returning once more to Armageddon, 50 years following the conclusion of the Second War, Tushan and his chapter resumed their combating of Ghazghul's War during 998.M41. Among the first responders to the planet's hail for reinforcement, Tushan would not allow the Greenskin menace to slaughter with impunity. Deploying 6 of the 7 companies of his chapter to defend Armageddon once more, the majority of the Salamander's might stood defiant against the prophet of Gork and Mork. Their affinity for close quarters combat proving invaluable in their assault of the rock fortresses plummeting from orbit, Tushan, again at the head of his Firedrake's elite 1st Company, carved swaths through the Orc lines. Meeting with the hero of Hades' Hive, Commissar Sebastian Yarrick, during their strategic briefings to defend Armageddon, the 2 veterans of this beleaguered world shared an instant and deep respect for their mutual service. Reprimanding Commander Vineyard of the Marines' Malevolent Chapter for bombarding a refugee encampment soon to be overrun with Orc Xenos, the loss of 4,000 civilians in the blast enraged the Lord of Drakes. Reminding Vineyard of his primary duty to protect the citizens of the Imperium, in front of the most senior commanders of the war effort, Tushan made clear his disgust for the malevolent Astartes. Preventing the Orcs from overrunning Hive Tempestora's Katrin water purification plant, the deeds of the Salamanders prevented the populace from a mass slow death by dehydration. Though unable to prevent the Hive's fall at the hands of the Greenskins, his actions allowed the majority of its populace to escape from the onslaught before its capture by the Xenos. refusing to allow the crucial Stygies bridge to fall to the Orcs. Tushan's imposing yet rousing presence fueled the mortal soldiers to fight reinvigorated, with unbreakable purpose. Successful in their victory of the Third War for Armageddon, Tushan and his salamanders returned to Nocturne to reflect on their service and prepare once more to embark upon the stars. For as long as the innocents of the Imperium suffer under the yoke of both Xenos and heretical oppression, the salamanders and their eminent master shall continue to charge into the fires of battle.